Mechanism? My God, how complicated can it be? We're going to try to do just that, Bullard said without a trace of confidence. As far as the complication goes, let me say just this. It's full of moving parts. What are you getting at? Hansen asked. Just this. These ships are perfect mechanisms. There is hardly anything in them that could be called a moving part. Now, a door has to open and close. Sure, we devised a simple, safe way to do it a few hundred years after the original fleet was built. The men who designed the original door mechanism felt, perhaps, that it was incongruous to include it in the first place. Maybe that's why they threw away the plans. God knows it is incongruous. Look, here's a photo we took of one in a ship back at the base. Hansen scanned the photograph. It was a meaningless jumble. He handed it back. Well, make yourself at home. I'm afraid that the only thing I can help with will be radio communication to Captain Fromer's ship. Good enough, Bullard said. I'm expecting someone else tomorrow. After you bring him down, feel free to drop over and see me any time. Bullard went back to his ship and Hansen went to bed. He dreamed of His Exalted Excellency Parthagnabar, growing angrier day by day as the time of mating came closer. In his dream, he suddenly came upon a magnificent solution to the problem, a solution involving a telepathic system of fertilization. He woke up before he had completely worked out the details. Bullard's friend arrived the same morning. He was a small, dark, active little man whom Hansen immediately disliked. Meet Dr. Quemos, Bullard said when Hansen dropped in on them. Dr. Quemos is a specialist in the history of technology. He thinks he knows how our cute little door mechanism is made. Can't say for sure, Quemos said, but I'd guess that those components are made of metal. Real metal. I thought metal was used only in jewelry, Hansen said. Dr. Quemos grinned slyly. That's what most people think. Actually, refined metal of various types was used in large masses, foreign masses, for thousands of years. Historically speaking, the pseudomets are relatively new. It's difficult to imagine metal functioning as machinery, Hansen mused. And you say that this door mechanism has moving parts? Lots of them? Moving parts are nothing to be afraid of, Quemos said. Here, look at this. He put something small on the table, much in the manner of a young boy dropping a garter snake in the midst of the schoolgirls. Bullard and Hansen crowded around. Now, take turns, said Quemos sharply, and don't drop it. It's priceless, I assure you. The ancient wristwatch with its transparent back was passed from hand to hand. Frightening little monster, isn't it? Bullard said. Those small round wheels are called gears, elucidated Quemos. One gear turns another, which turns another, and so on. I rather imagine that your door is operated on some similar principle. I seem to be the one who asks all the schoolboy questions, Hansen began. Would somebody tell me why Captain Fromer doesn't take His Excellency to his home planet, land the ship, and then let his technical staff tear off the door mechanism? We've gone through that, Bullard said wearily. Unfortunately, we need special tools, and there's no way to get them into the ship. Can I speak to Captain Fromer? Quemos asked. Right away, Hansen said. He pressed his hand in various patterns on his belt. This is Hansen. Let us talk to Captain Fromer, please. Fromer here. Who is it? Dr. Quemos speaking. How is your passenger? My passenger is fine, but he keeps telling me that he is very anxious to plant his seed. When can you get us out of here? Plant his seed, said Quemos. There's nothing salacious about this, I've been assured. He simply has a biological craving at this time in his life to plant his seed. I've got problems like that too, Bullard said, but I don't go around telling everybody. Stop clowning, Fromer snapped. You guys better find a way to fix this damn door, or you'll have a galactic war on your hands. Anybody have any ideas yet? We're sure that the door mechanism is made of metal, Chemist said, and the construction is probably based on the principle of a worm gear. A what? A worm gear, Captain, Chemist said patiently. It's an ancient metal device that was sometimes used for closing large doors. There's also the possibility that the door is closed and opened by dogs. These seem to have been used at least to operate doors of undersea crafts, although we're not quite certain about the function of dogs. The captain maintained a stony silence. Also, Chemist continued, we have unearthed, so to speak, a reference to a metal component called a babbitt. Now see here, Captain Fromer roared. Who do you think you're kidding with this talk about worms and dogs and rabbits? Babbitts, Captain, babbitts. Perhaps a type of bearing. Anyway, we're at work on the problem, I assure you. Chemist motioned to Hansen that he was through talking. During the next 3 days, Hansen twice visited Bullard and Chemist. On each occasion, he found the two men in trance-like conditions, ostensibly thinking through the problem that they had been assigned to solve, but more probably, Hansen guessed, brooding about the reaction of sector headquarters to their daily progress reports, which Hansen had been relaying for them. Hansen had only sympathy for the people back at sector headquarters, for if these two experts were the galaxy's two top troubleshooters, the Federation was not, as Hansen put it to himself, in very good shape to fight a war with 100 billion enraged citizens who worshipped His Exalted Excellency Arthagna Bar almost as much as they did his seed. Hansen went back to his reading, only to be interrupted with increasing frequency by message transmissions from an increasingly alarmed sector headquarters. Messages were addressed to Bullard, and were bravely designed to disguise the sender's hysteria, while at the same time urging Bullard on to more magnificent efforts. A few messages, fairly representative of the state of affairs as time wore on, reflected an increasing suspicion on the part of sector headquarters that Chemist and Bullard, although certainly tops in their fields, were not tops enough. Sec headquarters, Bullard, comm relay, 43.4 SC. President would like estimate of when door will be open. You sure you can handle? Emphasize that political situation now getting touchy. Repeat, touchy. Arthagna Bar calling on President today to make demand that seed be planted on time. Sure you don't need more help? Commanding General. Commanding General. No help needed. Making progress, assure President. Today found out metal in mechanism is very hard. In constant radio touch with Fromer. Passenger impatient, but quieter. Sleeps more now. This significant? Chemist developing theory of mechanism. Says we'll take time to work out. How much time we have? When must seed be planted? Bullard. Sec headquarters. Bullard. Comm relay. 43.4 SC. Must have estimate when door opens. This is an order. Ambassador threatening war. Can't give deadline of seed planting time since subject very taboo. Our biologists say Arthagna Bar sleepy significant. Maybe prelude to seeding time. Tell about Chemos theory in next communication. We'll evaluate here. Nice to know metal is hard. Keep up good work. Pressure here to send you help. President says whole Federation praying for door to be fixed. Says to hurry up. Commanding General. Commanding General. No estimate possible. Chemist theory almost complete.